Hello, how are you? I hope you're good. I'm here today to share with you what I plan on reading in August, aka during the Magical Readathon Autumn Equinox. If you've missed the video, I will link it down below, and it should just be like 2 videos ago or something like that, so it's not far. I don't upload that often. Me and the fellow adventurer mages would love for you to join. So, I am a dream walker, and in this semester I believe I need 8 books. I have my handy dandy booklet here. I need Ordinary in Alchemy, Qualified in Art of Illusion, Ordinary in Spells and Incantations, Distinguished in Psionics and Divination, and Ordinary in Lore. I do have to be away for work for pretty much the whole week in August, so that puts a little stick in my wheels for the readathon. I don't expect that I will be, able to read a lot during the evenings when it's technically not work hours, because socializing and I don't, it's just not, realistically it's not gonna happen. So I'm trying to plan, basically thinking that I won't have a whole week. And because my health has been so all over the place, I still don't understand what's happening with it. July was a terrible month for migraines, terrible, one of the worst ones I've had in a very, very long time. So I don't know how August is gonna be. So all of that to say, I'm trying to curate myself a TBR that I will still find challenging, don't you worry. I'm not finished a single thing in July, so even half of this is probably still gonna be challenging. I still want to pursue the Dreamwalker per year, which is funny because I literally upped the difficulty because I used to be a Rift Architect, and I was like, you know what? Let's make this more difficult, and I regret-y currently. But it's fine. We're gonna still try and make that happen, and I've tried to include some easier things that are a little bit more doable. She says. We might fail. We'll see. Let me walk you through my choices. The Ordinary in Alchemy was the first in a series, and I think it's just simply time. Will I like this book? Will I hate it? And will I be completely shunned away from society with my continuously unpopular opinions on books? Maybe, perhaps. Will this be the end of my YouTube existence? Maybe. Stay tuned. I don't know. But I'm gonna try and read Fourth Wing. We'll see how that goes. Slightly terrified. However, I'm actually quite excited now because I didn't realize there is chronic pain in this book, in a fantasy book, where it doesn't just get magically fixed. Sign me the fuck up. And for some reason I also thought this was a young YA, which it is not. And this I did know, it was kind of compared to earlier dystopians like Hunger Games, and then more so towards Divergent. I am a big fan of Hunger Games, I'm not so much of Divergent, but I do miss and I do enjoy and I do have that nostalgia for the earlier dystopians. So, all of that to say, I'm actually really excited to try this, and especially for the chronic pain, going through a flare-up. I mean, the stars are aligning, so we'll see how that goes. But it is about a girl who was supposed to, I think, go to the scribes quadrant, I want to say, but gets put in a writer's quadrant. I might be getting these wrong. So instead of becoming a scribe, she has to learn how to tame and ride dragons, because this is a kind of like a dragon riding war school. But the dragons normally pick to bond with like the strongest person there, and because she does have that chronic pain, she's not necessarily a stereotypical candidate, but she is very smart. That's the synopsis that I know. I'm excited. Scared a bit, but excited. I do need Qualified in Art of Illusion, which means that I need to pass Ordinary to then qualify for Qualified. So for Ordinary, the floor is lava prompt. I wanted to get something that should be relatively easy. I do normally sit in a way that I don't really touch the floor with my feet, like just on a sofa. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue, but I do want to make it, something that doesn't require me sitting for too long of a time. So I'm going to be continuing with One Piece. I do actually have both volumes 2 and 3 in this TBR. This is a bound up of 3 volumes, so I already read the first one, loved it, adored it. It's basically about this very adventurous and heartwarming, cheeky kid who wants to be a pirate and leaves his hometown and goes on to a very much blind adventure he just puts himself in situations where he's just so unaware of the risk, or just unbothered. I don't know if unaware is the right word, but just like blissfully unbothered by things. If anxiety was a person, this would be the opposite of that. And I love it. I cannot relate, but I love it. And I'm very excited to continue. I know the character ages up later on as well, which I'm also excited about. I don't know when, but anyway. So I technically have One Piece Volume 3 noted in here, but let's just say One Piece Volume 2 for this one. Whichever I want to read first, it doesn't really matter, because the prompt is Floor is Lava, so I can swap it if needs be. That would get me the Ordinary and Art of Illusion, and the next up we have Qualified to listen to an audiobook, and I believe I'm gonna go for Yellowface. Look at this Fansler edition. I love it. I've heard extremely good things about this book. This is about an author, or two author friends, two writer friends, I guess. One of them passes away and the other one steals their pretty much identity and the working manuscript. The writer that passes away is Asian, and the writer that steals the work is white. And it's a lot of commentary about the climate and publishing and social media. It's gonna be very interesting, I believe. It's gonna be interesting. It's supposed to be very satirical, very social commentary coded. Excited. Ordinary for Spells and Incantations. We're going back to One Piece. Volume 2 or 3, depending which order I'm gonna do, because the prompt was to read a manga or a comic or a graphic novel, and obviously this fits it very well. On to Psionics and Divination, my mostly needed subject for my career. The first prompt for Ordinary was the random tarot card, which was a lot of fun. I filmed a little clip of me actually going for it, and the card that I pulled was 5 of Cups. I was kind of considering going for like a shallot or a bowl or a cup, because they're kind of like bowl-like in that deck that I have. But I also have a lot of other elements that I can work with. First of all, a girl. Then we have the night sky as well. And fitting both of those things that I've just mentioned, I think I'm gonna go with this, which is Zodiac Star Force graphic novel. Comic. Is it? I don't know. It doesn't say volume 1 anywhere, so it could just be a graphic novel. So I've just seen Barbie. So I'm in a very like pink, embracing your inner child girlhood mood, and I think that this was the closest from my TBR that I kind of wanted to lean into that a little bit more while still being short considering the month ahead. This reminds me of so many cartoons that I used to semi-see as a kid, because I wasn't blessed with a lot of cartoons that I think a lot of people here got. So I'm very excited to delve into this, and maybe this is gonna have a bit of a witch vibes. There's another one that was like something about spies. I'm trying to translate it and I can't remember, but so it does seem fairly stereotypical as your setup goes. This is a group of girls that have superpowers, but they also have school. It could go either way. I think this also very much depends on my mood when reading this, so I'm gonna try my best to find that day where I do feel like delving into that area. I'll report back, but the art style really appealed to me. It's very playful, and obviously there's a lot of kind of celestial elements, which appeals to me, so we'll see. Then for Set in the Future, we have Sea of Tranquility. Look at that foil. I'm gonna read the synopsis on this one because I feel like I cannot really describe it properly. Who could you sacrifice to protect the future? Life separated by time and space have collided, and an exiled Englishman, a writer trapped far from home, and a girl destined to die too young have each glimpsed a world that is not their own. Traveling through the centuries between colonies on the moon and an ever-changing Earth, together their lives will solve a mystery that will make you question everything you thought you knew to be true. It's a time travel book. Do I need to know more? Honestly, I really don't, but you might. I will update you in a vlog. I do plan on doing reading vlogs. I'm not too sure if I will, but if you want me to, I can try. Very vague, but very excited. Sometimes these type of books are very hard to summarize because a lot of it could be spoilery, depending where the time travel happens and what it is for. It's hard to put a synopsis for this, I feel, but it is set in the future because time travel. I think they time travel back and forth. I mean, it's on the moon, so yes, set in the future, let's say. And the last grade for psionics and divination, distinguished, it was the lily on the cover, or the author's name. And I went for the author's name for this one, actually. It's Lovers and Writers. So this is a contemporary book / romance, but I don't know if it leans more towards just contemporary literary fiction or romance. I guess we'll see. I think maybe a little healthy mix of two. We are following someone who has just lost their mother, so there's a lot of grief happening. The main character is kind of knocked sideways by both grief and loneliness after a love affair. She meets a guy who's very nice, and then she meets another guy who's also very nice and also is grieving, so there's common ground and understanding that is not quite often seen between them two. And suddenly we have our favorite love shape, a triangle. It's been such a hot second since I read a love triangle. I'm not necessarily one that loves them, but I feel like I've not actually read a good one yet. So maybe this will be the one that changes it. I'm quite intrigued by this. I have not seen a lot of people talk about it, and they're writers. She's a writer, at least. Yeah. She is. Okay, so hence the name. And then the last of my required reading prompts is for lore, for ordinary. For this, it was a bookseller rec. I was kind of planning to, you know, properly go and check a bookstore, but that just did not pan out this month for me. So I asked my lovely Patreons who was or is a bookseller, and Lisa came to the rescue. And thankfully, she also understood the assignment really well, because she suggested Void, which is by Veronica Roth, and it is part of the Amazon selection of short stories in a sci-fi genre. I have already read, I want to say 3 or 4 from it, and I don't know if this is the first one or the second one, because there's a second one now, which I'm very excited about. I love little bite-sized Black Mirror, but sci-fi. Oh, I guess Black Mirror is kind of sci-fi in most cases, but so this one's Void. I will be honest, I did not read the synopsis, and I did that on purpose. I know this is kind of silly for the video because I cannot tell you what it is about, but the whole story is like under 70 pages, so I feel like it'll just spoil it. I like to go into these blind, but I highly recommend this selection on Amazon. It is on Kindle Unlimited. There are also audiobooks if you want, but I would just highly recommend a lot of them, especially the one by Blake Crouch. But I'm blanking on a name. I'll put it here. I think I prefer that one over the rest of them. Now, I did also select one book for another prompt that I don't need, but I really wanted to do it because I thought it was fun, and I'll insert the clip here when I was doing it because I recorded my screen. But that was for demonology, so I feel like that's kind of still fine. If I somehow still have time and I want to read another thing, this is probably what I'm gonna gravitate towards. The book that you come across first on a social media platform, I believe I went on Goodreads. I think. It was a while back now. And the book that I got was Divine Rivals, which I do actually really want to read. This is about a world plagued by war and 2 reporters that fall in love through letters, I believe. That is kind of the gist of it. When 2 rival journalists find love through a magical connection, their fate depends on their facing the depth of hell together, is the kind of tagline. And I've heard and I've seen this on a lot of people's list of the best of half of the year, the first half of 2023, so it's obviously promising, but I might not get to it. I'm just kind of mentioning it to you because I thought it was a fun prompt and I wanted to do it. I felt FOMO. And then very lastly, for our demonology challenge, I used this book in the example of the one that for me would fulfill all of the prompts, so I think I'm just gonna go with that as well because I'm trying to limit the amount of books that I need to read, but I do want to do this challenge because I want an impling, by the way. The implings are finished and they're so cute. I can't wait to share them with you, but that's for another day. But the book in question is Witch King by Martha Wells. The Witch King is a deity or a demon, from what I understand, who has been assassinated a while back but wakes up because one of the wizards, sorcerers, I don't know, someone tried to wake him up and take his powers and tie it to themselves and use it for their own good, kind of thing. And Kai, the demon, is not a fan. And he has a lot of questions. First of all, why was he put to sleep? What's happening? Etc, etc. And apparently he's not going to like the answers. So I'm assuming it's gonna be quite chaotic and quite... Oh, there's N.K. Jemisin blurb on the back. It says, wildly original and complex fantasy exploring how revolutions are won through trust and destroyed through selfishness. Wells excels at brooding, powerful, and human protagonists who just need a little kindness, or to be their badass best. Wait, that's so cute. I mean, I also am really excited to read a book with the main character that's not human. I feel like I don't have a lot of those under my... What's the expression? Under my wing? That's not it. Under my bag? That doesn't make sense. There's some sort of expression that I'm looking for here. I've not read many. Less exciting way of putting it. However, it does say complex fantasy, so I wonder in which way, because I sometimes don't like it when they're too complicated, because I feel like it doesn't translate in the way that I would prefer. Because complex doesn't always equal good. However, maybe they just mean like emotionally and just it's an intricate, nuanced book. We'll see. So this would take priority over this just because I want to get the challenge done more than I just want to read an extra prompt. But this is kind of what I'm reading, plus was it like Fourth Wing? Is that the only one? And Void that I don't have physically. But this is currently the somewhat planned. But I hope you have enjoyed putting together your TBR. Let me know if we clash on any of the books, if you've read any of these and if you enjoyed it. I would love to know your opinions because I like to gather these in my videos and just set my expectations accordingly. And so definitely let me know if you read any of these and what you thought. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Stay awesome, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!